I'm just going to share this vision that I'm seeing. There's a desert, and it's just like sand. It's like Sahara Desert, like those, those like tall peaks you see, just like soft sand. It's not dry and cracked or anything. It's just sand like that. And the ground is beginning to move, and the sand is kind of pulling away. So it's like this. It's like this stone castle, and it's all around it is the sand that I'm referring to, and the sand starts to shift away a path in front of the stone castle, and 2 doors open into this really long corridor. And this is an old castle. Like, it's interesting to me because it's like when it was built, obviously it was brand new, but this is ancient because it's faded. It's faded away. I can see that it's a castle, but it almost looks like a rock in the shape of a castle, because it's not solid, chiseled. It's not well, defined. Anyway, and so this path comes and the doors open and you can see down the corridor, and the earth that's been exposed from the sand, it cracks open and out pops this train track. So it's a train that goes down this corridor, and so as it goes down this corridor, the very first thing that you see is, this is hard to explain. There's these arches. So if I'm in the train, I'm looking out the window, and as it's passing by, I see these arches, and it's a little like a little cove, an arched little cove, and there's seats in there, and there's a light in there, and there's, what was that? Something was on the table burning, and there was smoke filling. Anyway, there's people sitting in each of these places, and it's a very literature, conversation. It'd be where like people would come to talk about literature and almost like philosophy. Very college-like, but it was one after another, after another, after another, after another. These cozy little alcoves with like books, and they're very small. It was a very small space, but there was just the whole entire tunnel, because this is inside, it's like a tunnel, is filled with them. And so the person inside the train is looking at them go by, and each of the little coves are just kind of filling up with smoke because there's this fire on the table that is causing smoke to kind of come up and fill it. Anyway, and so you see the person, and they kind of lean back in the seat in the train, and they have books too, and they kind of open them and go through it, and then put it on the table, and open it and go through it and put it on the table. And this is all that I see with this person. And then from there, I'm just watching this journey of this train go into different places, but at this point, the Lord is showing me, this is really hard to explain. I hope I can. What He's showing me is that this train takes you to, I think, the king. There's a train that takes you to like the kingdom of God. But there is a false train, like a counterfeit train. And like it's crazy to me because it's sort of God's kind of been telling me like that the enemy knows what it looks like. Like the enemy knows the train. And it mimics it, but it takes you places that aren't. It's very like Disneyland like. It's very crazy. It's very much like the train leads there, which is interesting because when you watch a Walt Disney movie, the very first scene before the movie starts is this huge castle, and you can see a train.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway, that kind of came up in the dream, and then there's like another Christmas cartoon that has a train that goes over water too, and gets you to some place too, that it's like Santa's workshop or something. And so it's these trains that are counterfeit, and then the Lord takes me in this train through this, and this is something I saw in one of Kim's dreams. I saw it was a, what are those things called where you paint the little people and put them in the, like if it was like a reenactment of the World War, but you paint them and it's small.
Yeah.
Like a table, like a train table. I saw that
Like
in
a
Kim.
model set?
Yeah,
Okay.
model set. Is it called something?
Yeah, it's called something specific. I don't.
Anyway, I saw that in Kim's, but I saw it in this version too, and I saw the train drive through this area as well. And then the train drives through, and it starts like this incline up this mountain, but it's not a real mountain. It's like a ride at Disneyland's mountain. And so there's just this complete showing of this false train. And then the Lord is like, at this point, after it kind of goes up this incline of this mountain, and it's what's that mountain called in Disneyland with
Matterhorn?
Yeah. What's the Matterhorn?
It's an actual mountain in Switzerland or somewhere like that.
Yeah, and it's snowing. Yeah, it's the Matterhorn mountain. And so once it gets to the top, it goes to the top and it's above the clouds. Like you can see, and the reality hits finally. Like all of this stuff that was before was just like make imagination and intellectualism, like both of those things. And at this point, reality finally hits, and it's just beauty for just days. You can see the sun and the pink sky and blue sky, purple skies, clouds. That are just like a road almost, and far off in the distance is the light, and it's just beautiful. And I am like, Lord, where's the tracks? Where's the tracks for this train to get out of this nonsense and get onto this way? And he showed me the tracks, and so the train is able to go on these tracks that are heavenly, but there's this huge sphere as a sphere, and it's shimmery, and it's like it's coming towards the train as the train's coming toward it, but right before the train is able to get there is where the distraction came. And it was the word said distraction, and then he said distraction. And even before that, he was like burst through it. You said those words, and it was the train needed to go through this place, but right at that place was distraction. So I feel like I saw the train approaching, I saw the train able to go through, but distraction was there. And that's definitely a place that needed to go through. It was like a heavenly sphere that the train needed to go through. But it wasn't stopped, like it was coming. But I didn't get to see it fully go through because of the distraction that was there. And I thought that I was producing a distraction out of nowhere, but no, it was there on purpose. So that was all.
all the different alcoves of knowledge seemed like just man's attempts at understandings. Like each one represented a different philosophy or understanding or mindset.
The word came to me that called with artisans called auditorium. I'm not sure that word applied here or not. This came to me strongly a couple times.
The little models are called dioramas.
That's right.
Okay.
They're called dioramas.
Diorama. Okay, diorama.
This is the mountain that the train was going up.
Oh yeah.
That's the Matterhorn.
Okay.
But it wasn't real.
Yeah. It reminded me also there's a castle in those movies, right? There's flag or castle as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It's crazy thinking about it. Yeah, Disneyland always been. I don't know. It seems to represent some kind of celebration, happiness, right? So yeah, it's a fairy tale land. This is pretty much a good picture describes a better happy life. Popular Christianity tried to promise you, yeah. So
The main area at the very center of Disneyland is called Fantasyland.
There's the train.
Oh yeah.
This is the train that comes up to the castle in Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
It
Yes.
shows that.
Is that right?
And then
Oh,
it has-
that's what it is.
And then it has that. It goes to that.
Oh yeah. So you need to rise above the cloud, basically, huh?
Yeah.
Clearly have the
A lot of
see
false
the false stuff.
stuff
Yeah.
down below.
Yeah.
But it was sad. It was really hard to be there, like in the spirit for me. When I was seeing it, I was like brought to tears because I'm just like, it's very, very overwhelming and very, very like prevalent. Is that the right word?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's modern Christianity was all about sometimes thinking so sort of bad to describe it, but it's true. So, yeah. But why don't you pray for our sister? Thank you for sharing that with me, so, with us, rather.
Mm-hmm. Before I saw that vision, I saw some things that to me just made sense, so I didn't share them, but it makes sense with this vision just in what that does to the truth. And I saw things being put into like it was again in the old times, it was like medieval times again, but it was in this square trough of sorts that had this dirty muddy water, and like things of value were put in there as far as like scrolls and like the crown of thorns and things like that were put into this muddy water like they were garbage. And then I saw Jesus on the cross. It was all muddy. Like there was nothing clean here at all. And it couldn't get clean. It just can't. There's nothing that can make this place clean. Anyway, and Jesus came up out of the muck, like thick, mucky mud, up out, and he wasn't touched by the mud. It was just him on the cross, and he wasn't touched by it, but he came up and fell back down, and it was like a cycle. He would just keep. It was almost like he was being dragged through the mud, and in reality, that doesn't touch him, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. So it's just like came up, went down, went back through the mud, came up, came down, and it was just a really sad
picture
of what.
Well, that fit in the song that God gave to me earlier. Psalm 82. We might ramp up with that one as our first one. So God preside in the great assembly, render the judgment among the gods. How long will you defend the unjust and show partiality to the wicked? Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked. The gods know nothing, they understand nothing. I think that's the auditorium, all those cave, how smoke represents some kind of false god almost. To walk about in darkness, all the foundation of the earth are shaken. They say, you are gods, you're all sons of the Most High, but you will die like mere mortals. You will fall like every other ruler. Rise up, O God, judge the earth, for all the nations are your inheritance. So it's asking for divine retribution to wicked ways. So that's interesting. Yeah. With that, Nicole, why don't you wrap up?
Father, your ways are not our ways. We desire for our ways to be yours. Father, we want you to come into these places, into our place, into all the places that man rejects you, all the places where man takes human knowledge and replaces yours with that. I'm thankful that you are Lord Almighty, God on high. We are thankful that you are the King of Kings. We're thankful, Lord, that you are worthy to be praised. We're thankful that our place is settled within you, within your arms, within your bosom, within your kingdom, our home. We are settled there. And I'm thankful for that, Father. I feel like you're not just separating good and evil and people from people, Lord, but you're separating nonsense from truth. You're separating knowledge, imagination. Really a pathetic way of trying to reach you. It's like Babel. That's another thing I saw was Babel. She's trying to reach you, trying to reach understanding of you and knowing of you in our own way. That is a separation now, Lord. You're separating that out. We will not find you in our own way anymore. The sad part is that we're going to, not us, but people are going to find something there. They'll find an enemy that will lie to them. And Lord, I pray over souls, Lord. Just pray over anybody, Lord, that belongs to you, Lord, that they would not fall away. I do want to stand there, Lord, and I want to ask for that. I do want to ask for that, Lord, because it's going to be so easy to fall away. Your word did not fall short in the words it chose to use when it said that that was going to happen and that it was going to be easy. Because seeking you in our own strength will lead to the enemy. He will open arms accept those who come. Seeking you and finding him because it's done in ourself. You've been so gracious for so long up until this point, Lord. But I can clearly see that you are showing us that that judgment is, that's what the judgment is. That's what the judgment is. It's the judgment we put on ourselves. It's falling under our own judgment. We're judging. We're putting the judgment on ourselves. Wow, Lord. Wow. You didn't even have to step in and spank us with a belt or anything. We put it on ourselves. Because of our... I don't know, Lord. What do you call it?
A stump on his own heart.
Yes. But there are those of us who do not want to find you in any way that is human. We want to find you through the Spirit that you gave us to indwell us, to lead us to you. And Jesus, who came and made a way for us to follow. We want the way, your provision. Would you pray, Lord, as you... It's very sobering to me right now. Like, I'm very clear and sober about the separation. And I do not want the ones that I love to find an enemy, Lord. I want to find you in your truth. We just praise your holy name. Thank you for being willing to teach us your word. I pray for just the leadership here in our midst. I mean leadership as far as husbands. I mean leaderships as far as wives. I mean leadership as far as the ones that are in the governing order that you are setting up, Lord. All these leaderships positions, Lord, that you are putting into place. That your hand is on, actually. The position, your hand is on them, and they're being positioned, or we are being positioned. Father, may we see what those positions are. May we see what is required of that position. May we not desire to move out of that position, to take on someone else's, or to move about freely, Lord. But I even see a chessboard. A chessboard, and each piece has a position that is crafted beautifully for that position. One that can bring in victory, and one that can take down an enemy. Each position can do that. Each position can advance your kingdom, and each position, Lord, can overcome the evil one. But you are setting us up. And you're setting us up in your kingdom, Lord, and I'm just seeing this hall that is very different from the hall that I originally saw. This hall is in the kingdom. This hall has many, many soldiers that line the hall, that are just ready at your word. Ready to bring forth your sons, Lord, into your into your kingdom, Lord. That there is a dress code. There's a dress code for this banquet. Can't come in our rags. We have to come dressed and ready. Father, will you give us the clothing? Will you give us the clothing that we're required to wear? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I see brides, I see grooms, I see wedding apparel and dressing in the hall. I think many came innocently in rags, like not meaning to come to the kingdom in rags, but nonetheless, that's how they came, how we came. But the Father gave us an opportunity to change our clothes right there in that area, on that red carpet, on that area before we're led into this banquet. gowns and dresses and just proper clothing. And proper, again, positioning, proper standing even. Not one that is shamed or guilty or embarrassed of being dirty because they're properly clothed now. They can stand, like 2 by 2 coming in to the banquet. Bride and groom, or, white beautiful dress and a man dressed in a suit, just side by side. Posture is, royal. I mean, these people are royalty. You would never have known they came to this place in rags. They're different. But they get to go in now. Thank you.
See. Remind me the vision Noah had for you, the crown vision. That's,
I have a question about what I just saw because I, before saying it just now, did not understand this. So, and this is what I saw. So please, if this was not from the Lord, that's fine. But I did see the separation, and I did see this. It separates with people seeking the Lord in their own strength. They'll be deceived. And seeking the Lord through the Spirit, through the right way as sons or whatever, they won't. But are those people who are going to be deceived today? I mean, are they going to not get to go to heaven? I'm worried about that.
The Bible does so apostle the church, so that's in lieu of we talk about the closed door. I never know you say, so hard does means, and this point does means define in the future they will not change. So what you saw, I think, is more spiritual principle. What happening in certain regards in people's lives. Just remember, we are a forerunning company. Means what you see and can experience in your own life will be indicating for the decades to come. At least 10 years down the road. So to say, that's why it's meaningful for us to lay a good foundation for the young ones. Because when they grow up, they will have a more sure foundation and clarity with what's taking place. What God secured for them, in contrast with the world that tried to inundate them with. That's the difference. This season we were able, with the help of God, to cut, the differences. Therefore, separation must end them. So, not necessarily exclusion, but for clarity, for divine contrast. I mean, he's funny. Why he carries his nose like that?
He always has.
Why?
I've done it. I did it as a kid. I don't know.
He always has that
It's
sound.
like a habit, I think. At this point,
Okay. Just curious.
I know.
Well, I better read.